Do you believe that a single dollar can truly transform a person's life? It may sound improbable, but when a homeless man approached Jimmy Carter with a simple request, "Give me a dollar," no one could have anticipated the remarkable outcome. What seemed like a small act of kindness sparked a nationwide movement, reunited a fractured family, and changed lives in ways no one could have predicted. It all began one busy morning in Cleveland, Ohio, a city alive with energy. The streets were filled with the familiar sounds of car horns, people rushing to their destinations, each absorbed in their own thoughts. Amid the cacophony of everyday life, the city's vibrant symphony unfolded with the old signs of small shops and crowded sidewalks, indifferent to the lives hidden in the shadows. There, sitting by the curb on a tattered blanket, was Lucas, a 42-year-old homeless man who quietly observed the world passing by. His clothes were worn, wrinkled, and frayed, and his face showed the scars of years of hardship. In his hand, he held a faded sign reading, "Anything helps, God bless." A series of unfortunate events had pushed Lucas into homelessness, a reality no one would ever wish for. After a year of living on the streets, he had learned that most people ignored him, rushing by without a second glance. Occasionally, someone would drop a few coins into his cup, but their eyes never met his. In the biting winter air, Lucas often felt invisible, a ghost among the crowd in a city that seemed indifferent to his existence. However, that day was different. As Lucas sat on the cold pavement, his weary face telling the story of his life, the harsh winds of Cleveland whipped through the streets. He tucked his hands into his coat, gazing at the shoes passing by, high heels, sneakers, and polished flats, until something caught his eye. A pair of pristine white sneakers, so immaculate that someone in his situation could never dream of owning them, stopped just a few steps away. Lucas looked up, his curiosity piqued. The steps were slow, deliberate, and confident. And then he saw the man, none other than Jimmy Carter, the former president. The former U.S. president, dressed simply yet elegantly, stood in front of a popular coffee shop, casually scrolling through his phone without a hint of urgency. At first, Lucas wasn't entirely sure it was really Jimmy Carter, but the man's distinguished suit and dignified presence left little doubt. A strange sensation stirred within Lucas, a mix of awe and curiosity. He suddenly realized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. After all he needed was $1 to get through the day. A wave of awkwardness washed over him, but he fought to stay composed. Taking a deep breath, Lucas rose to his feet and made his way toward Jimmy Carter. Unsure where to begin, his eyes briefly scanned Jimmy's hoodie before settling on his warm, friendly face. The noise of the bustling city seemed to fade as Lucas found his voice, soft yet firm. "Can you give me $1?" Jimmy paused, stopping his phone scrolling and tilting his head slightly, as if to confirm he hadn't misheard. He turned to face Lucas, his expression unreadable for a moment. Time seemed to slow, and Lucas braced himself for rejection. He was accustomed to it. But what happened next was completely unexpected. In a calm voice, Jimmy replied, "Before I hand it over, may I ask you a question?" Lucas stood, taken aback. He never imagined someone of Jimmy's stature would take the time to engage with him. Jimmy continued, "Do you live here alone? And why do you need $1?" Lucas was stunned by these simple yet deeply genuine questions. For a moment he stood silent, unsure how to respond. Then something inside him pushed him to speak, and he answered, "Just $1, and I can get something to eat. I don't know what to do anymore. No job, no home, no one by my side." Jimmy listened attentively, not interrupting or judging. His eyes met Lucas's with a quiet understanding, as if seeking to understand something deeper in his story. After a moment, Jimmy reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a bill, and handed it to Lucas. Calmly, he asked, "How long have you been here?" Lucas hesitated. Sharing his story was not something he typically did. Most people didn't care about the reasons behind his situation, only the circumstances. But something in Jimmy's demeanor made him feel safe, urging him to speak. "Nearly a year now," Lucas confessed. "I lost my job when the factory closed. The pandemic made it even harder to find work. My savings ran out and I couldn't afford rent anymore," Jimmy continued, his voice steady. At that, Lucas's throat tightened. He hesitated before replying, "My parents passed away. I have a younger brother, but we haven't spoken in 10 years. A bitter smile flickered on his lips as he finished his sentence. Jimmy remained quiet for a moment, his gaze fixed on Lucas as if truly absorbing his words. Then, without saying a word, Jimmy reached into his pocket not for a few loose coins, but for a crisp $100 bill. The sight left Lucas stunned. He blinked several times, unable to fully process what was happening. Jimmy handed him the bill and said, "This should cover more than just a cup of coffee." Lucas stared at the $100 bill as if it were an alien object. His mind spun, caught somewhere between disbelief and cautious hope. Jimmy didn't rush off. He stood there, watching Lucas. And then, almost as an afterthought, he added, "I'm helping you because your request was simple, but I want you to know this. It's never too late to change your life. Never give up. You deserve another chance." Lucas looked down at the bill in his hand, feeling a warmth in his chest he hadn't felt in a long time. But what struck him most was not just the money, it was the genuine care from someone he thought he could never reach. Jimmy gave him one last look, a smile on his face, and said, "Find a way to rise. I believe you can do it." For the first time in a long while, Lucas felt seen, truly seen, by another person. The weight of his invisibility had lifted, replaced by a sense of worth and hope. As Jimmy walked away, Lucas stood there, his heart brimming with emotion. The simple, sincere gesture had shifted his entire view of the world. The $100 bill was no longer just money. It was a reminder of his value in this world. As the famous former president's footsteps faded into the distance, the warmth and hope he had left behind continued to linger in Lucas's heart. From that moment, Lucas's life began to turn a new page, though more surprises awaited him. Surprises he could never have imagined. Alongside the money, Lucas discovered a small piece of paper in his hand. It was an address, the location of a community support center where people like him could find help. This address wasn't just a place for material support, it was a beacon of new hope. Jimmy's act of kindness had not been fleeting. It had opened a door to new opportunities. And as Lucas clutched the paper in his hand, he felt the first flickers of real possibility for his future. Those words, it felt like a refreshing rain in the midst of a long, dry season. Lucas sensed a change, not just in his circumstances, but in how he saw himself. No longer was he a homeless beggar on the streets, but a person filled with hope, dreams, and most importantly, someone deserving of help. Throughout that morning, Lucas was introduced to vocational training programs, counseling sessions, and job opportunities. He could hardly believe that one small act of kindness from Jimmy Carter, a few words of advice, could completely change the course of his life. He had never imagined receiving help from a stranger, let alone someone as famous as Jimmy Carter. It was as if his present and future had been rewritten, and he realized that it is never too late for change. The key to transforming his life was faith in himself and the new opportunities before him. From that day onward, Lucas began his new journey. Each day, he learned new skills, attended courses to improve himself, and gradually secured a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. His life was no longer confined to cold, lonely street corners. He began to dream of a day when he would be strong enough to help others, just as Jimmy had helped him. The $100 bill Jimmy gave him didn't just change Lucas's situation, it ignited a spark of hope within him. From that moment on, he no longer felt invisible. He became an important part of society again. Jimmy's act of kindness quickly went viral, spreading like wildfire across social media. A video of their encounter, recorded by a passerby, gained widespread attention overnight. People saw Jimmy Carter not only as a renowned humanitarian, but also as someone with a big heart, willing to give Lucas a new chance at life. Public reactions were varied. Some were skeptical, thinking it might have been a PR stunt, but most praised Jimmy's actions. Many saw it as a prime example of how the wealthy can use their resources and influence to create meaningful societal change. Yet it seemed the surprises for Lucas were far from over. One foggy morning, while Lucas was on his way to the vocational center, he received an unexpected call from an unknown number. On the other end of the line, the familiar voice of his younger brother echoed, nearly stopping Lucas's heart. It had been more than 10 years since they last communicated, and now, thanks to that one act of kindness, they were about to reconnect. The story is a testament to the transformative power of kindness and how one small act of compassion can ignite a ripple of positive change. After watching the viral video, Lucas's brother finally learned about his situation. Moved by what he saw, he decided to search for Lucas and offer his help. Their reunion took place in the cozy setting of a small cafe, a place where, for the first time in years, Lucas felt the warmth of familiar love. As their eyes met, an indescribable feeling filled the air, and it was as if time had turned back. They embraced tightly, silently, with only tears falling to express the emotions they could not put into words. The reunion not only brought Lucas back to his family, but also helped him realize that life could begin anew, sometimes even from relationships once thought lost. Under the light of his new life, Lucas grew stronger, not just for himself, but for his family, friends, and community. Each day became an opportunity to change, to prove that no one, regardless of their circumstances, is ever too late for a fresh start. Lucas's journey was not just one of self-discovery, but also a testament to the power of kindness, hope, and undying love. His story became a powerful reminder that small, meaningful actions can have far-reaching effects. The bond between Lucas and Jimmy Carter has sparked a significant ripple across society, not just in America, but globally. It serves as proof that a simple good deed can inspire millions and transform lives, even in situations that once seemed hopeless. While Jimmy Carter continues his tireless humanitarian efforts and quietly carries out his charitable projects, Lucas has embarked on a new chapter of his life. He is no longer a homeless man. He is a person who has learned to stand tall and change his destiny. His journey is one of personal redemption, perseverance, and the profound impact that small acts of kindness can have. For Lucas, the humble gesture from a renowned figure not only helped him regain his confidence, but also gave him a new direction in life. This story carries a powerful message. A small act, whether it's a simple greeting or a helping hand, can lead to remarkable change. Caring for others and treating them with respect and compassion can inspire positive change in society. Everyone, regardless of who they are or where they come from, can contribute to building a better community where everyone has the opportunity to change and grow. But Lucas's life today stands as a testament to the profound difference one act of kindness can make. Through his transformation, he has learned that with hope, support, and compassion, even the most challenging circumstances can lead to a brighter, more meaningful future. This story serves as a powerful reminder that no one is ever too small to make a difference, and that within every act of kindness, great opportunities for change and new hope can arise. Thank you for following the inspiring journey of Lucas and the life-changing actions of Jimmy Carter. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like and share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss other meaningful and emotional stories like this one. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming videos. Please note the stories presented on this channel are entirely fictional and created solely for entertainment purposes. Any resemblance to real events, individuals, or situations is purely coincidental and unintentional. These narratives are not meant to depict, reference, or represent any actual occurrences, persons, or entities.